of the guys you're going to mention in the DeCavalcante family, Florida. Why don't you give the setup for us?
Sure. Yeah, appreciate it. Honored to be here. Thank you for the ability to talk to your fans. And I'm excited to talk to people in the Mafia space because a lot of reporters, I've been dealing with this for about 5 years. This is a 5-year journey. And the last 3 years has been very amped up, and I've had a lot of crazy stuff happen. As you know, you work in this space too, and some of the people can really go off the rails really quick, and you know, they get angry in the ego and all this stuff. So basically,
that's not Faye Resnick, is it? That picture?
It depends. If it's with Nicole, that could be Denise or Faye. Yeah, there's a couple I have of Faye Resnick and Nicole. Yeah.
Anyway, if that's, I gotta look. If that's Faye Resnick and you have it like already there, that's brilliant. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but anyway, keep going.
Well, Faye Resnick's a big part of the story and about the cocaine debt and the cocaine angles of the Mafia. So it's fitting you say her name. So basically, the story was I was approached years ago by a producer in Hollywood to meet Charlie. And I was also told about this guy named Joey Ippolito from the DeCavalcante crime family.
Jersey family, correct. Jersey-based family.
Yeah. So, and their father was close to Sam the plumber, and there were all this brood of men. There were these multiple guys in the Ippolito family. Some are still alive, some died. So at first, I didn't really know what it was, and I became a producer, and I also became a kind of shopper of the story in Hollywood. That's how I met the families, the mob guys. There's other guys that I'm not going to talk about today, but there's other people involved. And Charlie had claimed that he's O.J. Simpson's murder accomplice from Brentwood, and it was about his life in the Mafia, his life of crime, his father, stepdad, his family, how he knew Joey Ippolito, how he met him. They're all in Miami. Why are they all in Miami? Because of the cocaine, the heroin, the drugs. So it was this fascinating story, and I was close to them for a long time, and I wanted to help them because I thought it was a story that needed to be told. As I went down the rabbit hole, it got darker and darker, and just like any mob story, it starts to connect everywhere. You start to see Lucky Luciano and Meyer Lansky and the Jews and the Italians. It opens up this whole Pandora's box. So
just messing with you, Chris. Chris and I talked before. We have a good rapport.
Hey, look, let me say this. I accept any challenge. If anyone ever wants to debate me, bring it on.
Love it. All right.
I mean, the tin hat, we can do whatever you want. But so I feel it's a story to be told, and people like you that have courage and find the Mafia stuff interesting. I've basically stopped telling the story about O.J. Simpson. This is a story about the mob.
That's fair. So what I talk a little bit about, let's start off with, the mob angle. And I found it really interesting because it kind of fits in the narrative. I'm doing a lot on drugs and the Mafia that's sort of kind of not told. Who were the Ippolito brothers, that were the Cavalcante guys? Who were they in Florida? And then first, how did they kind of get mixed up in the drug trade? Allegedly, of course.
Yeah. And look, people will have different opinions. I will state what I know and how I see the story, okay? Joseph Ippolito Sr. worked for Sam the plumber DeCavalcante.
Correct.
They were very close to Meyer Lansky. Correct. A lot of people don't know that. The New Jersey mob was very close to Meyer. Meyer set up a whole operation with speedboats, racing boats. You had Ben Kramer, Jack Kramer, Bobby Sacenti, Apache. I could keep naming them. There's a lot of them. I know a lot of these guys too. And they used to use these speedboats to smuggle heroin and cocaine with the Colombians in Miami. And they would park these motherships in international waters. And it's in Charlie's confession. He tells you how he rides in the boat.
And this was also in line with the cocaine cowboys, Sal Maluga and those guys. Okay.
They all know each other. They're all in on, they all murdered each other. Don Arano was murdered in 87, 86, I believe. Don Arano was tied in. Don Arano, who was his best friend? George Bush.
So, now it gets a little trickier because the guy Roberts, and forgive me on his full name, but the guy Roberts,
Don Riccobono, his name's
not. That's the thing. So Roberts was he Escobar's guy? Whose guy was he?
He was mob.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he flew the planes in for who? Escobar or Griselda Blanco? I forget.
Both.
Both. Okay. So he was one of like him, Barry Seal. He was one of the high flyers that would send hundreds of millions of dollars of coke in his plane every year.
And he knows Joey Ippolito.
Well, here's my point. It turns out John Roberts, whatever his name is, turns out to be Rico Bono, Sicilian of a mafia member and relatives of the Gambino family. You're trying to tell me he's not bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars a year in coke and calling his dad and his uncle and saying, hey, do you not want to make money? So I agree where like the Italian angle gets deeper and deeper when you get into the Riccobono, Meyer Lansky allegedly. I'm in touch with his grandson. I would love for him to defend or deny, deny or confirm that the Genovese family was bigger than drugs and they let out. So keep going. So the speedboats keep going.
So these guys do a front where they race boats on ESPN by day, and at night they race out to the motherships with the Colombians.
Yeah.
Now, guys like Eugene Hicks, Thomas Adams, they get murdered. They sold O.J. Simpson a boat. Why does O.J.